little EDC torch. I bought this one from Olight. This isn't one of their, we'll send you a torch if you talk about our flash sale every day for the next 4 years type gigs. I actually saw this come up on their Instagram feed and I thought, well, that is a unique take on a little torch for sure. Let's give it a go. And so here we have the Arkfeld. A bit of a strange name, but there we go. And this is a laser also built into a pretty decent, pretty competent EDC torch. The main thing I suppose you immediately notice about this is it's got a pretty unique interface, and that is just regarding switching between the laser and the torch. Now, I didn't really do my due diligence, and I actually thought I was getting a light that turned on and was adjusted through a wheel, but in fact it is still just a center button type torch mechanism there. But a lot of the other things about the light are fairly unique, and I still quite enjoy it. It's just perhaps not as remarkable as I thought it was. That being said, I gave it about 5 seconds of thought before I pulled the trigger. I suppose I was in a very receptive state. Alrighty, so in terms of as a light, it's quite pocketable, and it's definitely not as bright and not as capable as most tube style or most sort of conical reflector style lights. These sort of flattened off kind of floody, softer beams, generally pretty good for inside your house when you don't want to use the main lights, when you need to get up and get a drink or get to the toilet or whatever without sort of flooding an area with light and ruining everyone's night eyes. So it's best for that sort of thing. I can go put my chickens to bed, which is, 20 meters away from my house type thing, through a couple of things. I can navigate things in close quarters, and it does just fine for that. But with regards to taking it on like a bush walk or even just an outside walk, and that extra bit of visibility is not quite there even on the brightest setting. For me, it was mainly a reliable laser pointer is what I mainly wanted it for. Laser pointers for me are usually the super cheap eBay jobs. They last about 2 or 3 weeks, and then something in it, usually it's a really fragile build quality, usually goes. And laser pointers are great to play with pets for. I mean, you don't want to do it all the time. It's still a bright spot that they're looking at, which can, do a little bit of damage. And obviously don't shine it in their eyes. I shouldn't have to say these things, but if I don't say it, someone in the comments will. Laser pointers can be great fun with your more exuberant pets. The more stoic pets, which I do have one of those, generally doesn't rouse him too much. But, my older cat, she shows a modicum of interest. And the puppies, well, you can basically get the puppies to go wherever you want because they want to catch the green dot and they want to kill the green dot. And when they bite the green dot and it goes away, they are disappointed at the lack of the green dot and want it to come back. So it's a great tool for the puppies, keeping them entertained. When you are tired and you can't be out running around with them, you can make them do all the running. They'll follow the dot. So really, really good. And yeah, just good to finally have one that's of good build quality. And I'm sure there's plenty of decent laser companies, but I figure this one came with a pretty interesting looking torch on a pretty interesting looking little build there. And overall, it's a package I'm pretty happy with. It's a little bit bigger than a lot of things, sort of compared to my usual EDC torch, the little EGTAC. This is a much nicer object in general and a much sort of nicer piece of kit than this. This feels sort of very much sort of mass-produced, a little bit more soulless. Obviously, this is mass-produced as well, soulless, but this has kind of got that kind of titanium sculptorish type thing that I think most of us EDC guys are sort of looking for more often in a light. And as a light, is also definitely more capable, much brighter than the Arkfeld is, even on its brightest setting. See the differences there, much softer on the Arkfeld, much sort of focused, brighter beam on the EGTAC. So those are things that you can look up spec sheets all day and decide what kind of light you want. This is really good for an interior light inside your house, inside your car, and just for short trips outside. Something a bit more robust, a bit more like high sort of yield light. Most things like this are going to do a little bit better for your larger light tasks, so to speak. But I thought you might find it interesting. There's probably a million reviews of these getting around anyway. I bought this with my own money. It was $100 about to get it here in Australia. That's about par for the course for a decent branded torch that is rechargeable. This has the classic Olight magnetic base stick-on charger, which has always been good for me. Never had any issues with those at all. Very reliable, and you can get them for like $2 from Olight, so really easy, replaceable. Never a huge fan of proprietary recharging, like the magnetic things that only work for one. I've got a torch inside, I can't remember its name, but that has its own sort of proprietary magnet lock, and it's annoying because I need to find that whenever I want to charge it. I can't just plug in USB. But I think Olight's had this one for so long, it's pretty ubiquitous, and there's enough of them around, I think, and most torch guys are going to have a couple of Olights to be able to keep it recharged. But there you go. Charging time for me, I know it's about an hour. It's fully up again. I haven't ran it all the way dry just yet. I love the little battery indicator as well. Very cool, just on the front. Pops to life whenever you turn the torch on, and then it goes back away. So usually I'm rolling with about 2 or 3 LEDs worth of light, and I really haven't been too stressed or like ran out of light before I could get to a recharge port again. So I think I'm just using it within spec, and as such it's doing pretty well. So that's the Arkfeld. I think that's all I've got to say about it. I think all the specs have been presented on the screen to you by now if I've done my due diligence in the editing suite, and I'll see you all in the next film. Goodbye.
Where's it gone? Where's it gone, Hilda? Where's it gone? Hey, where's it gone? Oh no.